we're live, but this is the second week, and I'm so tired. Y'all have no idea. I'm also preparing to go out of town. So I'm, trying to clean up the house and get everything together. So it says that we're live. But anyway, I don't know if you caught the part that I said that we're testing and stuff. So, and then I'm trying to clean up my house so I can get ready to go out of town. I'm doing a road trip with my mom. We're going to Mississippi. So that's going to be fun. I do want to try to stream that too. And I just want to have fun and just have a break and just enjoy myself. But I am trying to get it together. So I'm trying to do the streams that require me to sit down and show you guys stuff, and then everything else will be fine. But yeah, I really like this hairstyle, y'all. These are clip-ins. I've been doing really good with the clip-ins. Now, I do have, really quick, okay, I do have a wig. This is a V-part wig that I had got from, them people a while back, and I don't know if I want to bleach it or not. But then I also have some bundles that I had made clip-ins out of, but I had leftover bundles, so I think I might just do that because I like how I can have a protective style. My hair is in a bun, and then I just have the clip-ins masterfully, like it's art. I like to create art and things like that. I go to work and people who are you trying to see? Me. I'm trying to see me. I like to create art. That's why I'm late. Anyway, today we are doing the end of the year review. Okay, 2025 wrapped. That's what we're doing. I like to journal. So if you're new here, we have a journal, and here it is right here. So basically what I like to do, basically what I like to do is journal everything. So end of the year, and I look at the glows, the grows, the opportunities, and the barriers. And I look at different aspects of everything, and I'm just showing you what it is on the screen. So you have work, you have YouTube, finances, spiritual, health and wellness, personal, all of that. So that's what we're going to be going through today. So I highly recommend that you have your journal, okay? Because I'm all about the tangibles, okay? Tangible things so you can get your life together right away, okay? We're doing it in real time. So without further ado, I'm going to put mine up, but I want to put it to where, I don't know, because you can't see my face, and I have to be mindful of that when I'm doing stuff. I don't know. Where do we want to put it, you guys? Oh, no. Okay, maybe we should come over here and we can have this here. And then hold on. Okay. And I just have to remember to look at y'all, but I can't move the camera. So it would be helpful if I could actually see it. Okay. I wear bifocals. Y'all know that. Y'all know I can't see that stuff, but I know you can see it on the screen. So let me pull it up. We're not prepared. Let me get my life. Hold on. So we're going to be talking about 2025. Our glows. Hold on. Slides. What is that slide called? Girl. I have been working on this. Oh, hold on. I have my work account and my personal. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to talk about our glows. All right, so work. Obviously, we did not quit. Amen. Thank you. I really appreciate that. We did not quit. I feel like if you watched my previous one from last year and even the mid-year review, I was going through it at my job. I just kind of remember being very upset with those people and just not feeling the vibes and just very much feeling like I wanted to quit. Now, let me tell you something that I do every year, and I should have included it. Okay. I pull up my charts. Okay, because you know I'm woo woo, and I look at the transits and stuff, and so I was trying to look and see like what was the energy from last year, and previous years and different things of that nature, and what was the planets doing, and then how did I feel? Okay, I feel like this year we had deaths in the family. And, obviously we can't control when that happens, but it was on my dad's side. And I feel like Pluto was in like my 10th house and stuff like that. And so that contributes to wanting to change your career path, your purpose, all of these different things. And we definitely saw changes in that. And it's still there. Pluto is still in my 10th house. It's been in there since I quit that job the first time. Okay. So it's just there. And so clearly that's a reoccurring thing. But I feel like this year with my job, like I don't know, like I feel like we came to a consensus and we're learning each other, and everybody values each other. And it's like when you have a good team, let's just work together. How can we communicate better? And I learned a lot about myself as I learned about other people. Like I learned that, perhaps I'm not the best communicator. You know what I mean? I can be an ice queen when I'm upset, and I can't expect other people to read my mind, even though at times I be feeling like some of the stuff that's going on, like you should know what to and what not to do. And then the other thing is boundaries. Everybody doesn't have the same type of boundaries. So you really have to communicate that, right? And if we're not doing a good job with communicating, and because it's such a personable environment, it's easy for those boundaries to get misconstrued, right? And so it's just like we have to have those conversations. But my thing is I don't like having the same conversation over and over and over again, right? So it's just like, you got to reinforce. And so I don't be trying to do all that, okay? Because if I said it once, I said it. If I say it once, I'm not going to say it twice. You know what I'm saying? But we've gotten better. We've gotten better at communicating, and work is not that bad. You do know we are, on a prescription. So that might have something, because I feel so much better. I'm still not able to make it there, so early like we do, but I do get there. And I did level up at my job. I have taken on more responsibility. And, being a librarian, I have learned that it's not just being in the library, but I'm doing a lot of community organizing. So what does it take to, create an event and execute an event at the community level? And I think that is really good. So I'm learning about, public planning and all of that stuff. And then also administrating and being a leader. Like I do not be wanting to be a leader. I do not be one. That's not something that I think that is where a lot of the anxiety came from too. It's like you're being called into leadership, but I don't want to be a leader. I didn't become my position. Like I didn't do that because I want to be a leader, right? But because I'm so good at it, it's natural, it's easy. People automatically come to me for leadership, but I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to be a leader. People are asking for my opinion. I don't want to give you my opinion. I just want to mind my business, right? But I have to be in other people's business because they're asking for my help. And it's just like when you have that calling, you just kind of have to answer the call. And the longer and longer you don't answer the call, you ignore it, it gets louder. It doesn't go away. Like, it's just like, we're going to keep bothering you because we see that you have this gift. So we're going to go ahead, so the leadership is there. Now I have leveled up and I am on a committee, for the tippy top. Right. And it's an eye-opening thing because and then I gave this is my second time giving a professional development. So like, training adults or whatever. And so it was just very eye-opening. It's eye-opening, and I think that's the disconnect. It's like you go from being a teacher and so you're educating kids and now, you go to the leadership level and you're, communicating with adults and you find those similarities between kids and adults. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And then everybody have a different leadership style. Like some people are like really, really like iron fist, right? And I have found that that is not the best way to get stuff done. And so I lead by example, and I like to lead by being personable and getting buy-in. And how I get that buy-in, don't worry about it. But once I give you a little speech, once I give you a little talking to, amen, you do whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I use that wisely because I don't like taking advantage of people, and I don't like using people and everything like that. So that's the other part, is like people be trying to use me to use other people, but I don't want to do that. I want to mind my business. I want to read my books. I want to chill. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? But it's just like, anyway, we have done better with that. Okay, so the other thing is, okay, so we didn't quit. We were able to get the kids to come to the library. That's a big thing. That is a big thing, because at middle school, you don't get that. Like, the kids have to make a choice to come. And now it's like, if I take a day off, the entire school feels it. Okay, especially around that lunchtime. Them kids love being in the library. They really do. And I'm noticing a shift in the demographics where the kids we're just trying to keep them, you know, near the cross. But now we're seeing the shift where the kids are actually interested, and they want to read books, and they want to do these things. And so it just really, really warms my heart that the kids, like, if they don't come to the library, they have a bad day. And at this point, it's like they got to have a good day. So I'm a part of the plan. They have to come to the library. Like, they have to. You can't take that from them. You just can't take it from them, you know. And I just, that warms my heart. It really does, because that shows that we're, you know, all the hard work that we put forth to, you know, make the library into a space where kids want to be and they choose to be there. That means that it didn't go unnoticed and it wasn't for nothing, right? So that makes me happy. Yeah, so we talked about all of that with work and everything like that. So we're doing good at work. YouTube. All right. So something that I was having issues with, I feel like in the beginning of the year, it was just like I didn't know what I wanted to do, because it was like, you know, we're not doing library and content anymore. We're just doing, you know, because here's the thing. I don't want to be a career librarian. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that for the people that want to do that. But that's just something that I felt, because I look at the analytics, and I spend a lot of time on the thing. And so, like, whatever type of content that you put out, that's what the algorithm is automatically going to show. And so we did that. But then we were also experimenting with other type of content, like shorts. And so it's like my hair videos. I think I did a short on keratin, and it has gone viral, and I can't get anything else to do as big as numbers as those, right? And then the other problem with that is, okay, if you get a short and it goes viral, it needs to go viral in the niche that you want it to, or it's going to be hard to get the algorithm to go, right? And then the other thing is like, okay, so they were saying, oh, you need to do shorts, you need to do shorts. But the thing is, shorts don't make no money, okay? That's one, shorts don't make any money. And then the other part is it messes up your watch time. So it messes up your channel average as far as making income on the YouTube or whatever. Now, I'm not gonna lie, YouTube is just fun money. Okay, it's just fun. Okay, we're just having a good time. We're not doing a good pay. But if we wanted it to be a viable income, I did not want this new thing to mess up my vibe, right? And then we were having issues with, okay, I work a full-time job. Okay, I work a full-time job and I be tired. Okay, like on a day like today, I've been yelling at kids since 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I wake up at 4. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, get to work late. Okay, like 7 o'clock is late. Some people are just getting up, getting in their car, getting on their way to work. I'm already late at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, all right. So I've been in there for like what, 7 to like 1 o'clock. With these kids, looking at them, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, not causing no problems and everything like that. Oh my God, that is draining. That is draining. Luckily, they had some food. They had some nachos and stuff like, but we can't be eating all that, right? But I'm getting to the part, we're going to talk about health and wellness, but it's just like, girl, I be tired. So by the time I get home, I'm tired. I actually moved this couch. This is my long couch. I sleep on that one. I moved it over there to face the camera. So when I see the camera, it's like, sleeping when you could be, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like I have to rest because I'm supposed to be getting, because I'm working out now. I'm getting up at 4 so I can work out now, you know, for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. It's like I have to get 10 hours of sleep so I can recover. Because if you don't recover, you'll get sick. And I already got sick. So it's too much. Right. And so it's like I had to take a step back and do some auditing and see, okay, so the top YouTubers that there ever were, what were they? Most of the time, they're streamers. Okay, that's number one. They're streamers, like them, you know, Caucasian people and everything like that. The PewDiePies and all of this stuff. They were streamers. Okay. And then I look at, you know, people that do vlogs like Aaliyah's Face and Kyra, and I love them so much, but they have editors. You know, they have editors and it took them a long time to create the amount of content that they have, right? So it's just like, we're not trying to make excuses, but we're trying to be realistic and we're trying to use what we have, and play to our strengths and different things of that nature. So, you know, we were able to find, some help as far as content creation. Like one, streaming helps me because I am able to create the content in one go. And I think that's really good because I think I'm good at like real time talking to people and stuff. And then the other thing is like, after I do the live, I'm done. I can move on to the next thing on my to-do list. Like I keep a to-do list and it's like never ending. I kind of like the one and done. Like after I do this, I go back and watch it, put the timestamps on there, do a thumbnail, and then I'm done. Next idea, next thing, next thing, next thing. That's how it has to be. And it's kind of like with social media and the algorithms, you have to be like, go, 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 right? And it's just like, I'm coming up with these ideas. At first, I was using AI to help me with my ideas and my scripts, but it was just not giving what I wanted it to give. It was there, but it wasn't that energy that I like. You know what I mean? So it's like, it just kind of all worked out. And I want to say personally, thank you so much, you guys, like just sticking with me as I figure out like what this channel, like we're molding it into, you know, it's like we're playing with Play-Doh and we're just trying to mold it into the vibe. And I finally feel like we are now at the vibe that we want. And so I really want to say thank you to everybody, okay, that was watching my channel when I was going through it, when I quit my job, when I was going through it. And now we're still making it, and I just feel like we're in a better place, you know, and we can create our content. We have a better workflow. You know, we needed the lights. We got the lights. We did what we needed to do. And so I'm really thankful for that. Now, finances, you know, because I like to look at everything. Finances. We got our finances under control. We did file chapter, what was it? Chapter 13, bankruptcy. That one is not the chapter 7 where they take everything away. I got the one where you have to pay the people back. Right. But it was a recalibration of the finances from my understanding. And so basically I'm paying it back, but I'm not paying all the interest. Right. I was paying the bills, like I was paying the minimums and stuff. And it really doesn't like work. Like when you need the money back and you really like, you're supposed to pay it and not need to use it again. Like you're supposed to just pay it and leave it alone. But you know what? Your girl has a problem. Every time those people would get on my nerves at my job, I would buy some hair. In fact, we're looking at all the hair. Like I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? Like I was fly. I'm still fly. So, you know, some of that was from, you know, a while back, you know, we've been carrying that debt. And then also, you know, we accumulated the new debt. Okay. And we just weren't making good financial decisions, you know, and so as we are, you know, becoming more aware, right, we are making better choices. And I feel like we made the best choice that we could have made in the situation that we was in. Okay. I'm proud of myself, right? I'm proud of myself because I'm learning to trust myself and to do right by myself, regardless of what other people have to say. my grandmother, my dad, they did not want me to do it and everything like that. But the thing is, they have ways of generating income. You know, they have ways of generating income. They have, spouses and everything like that. I am doing this by myself. Okay. And, we're working on ways to generate income, but it's just kind of like, it's hard to focus on abundance when you are in scarcity. Okay. It's hard to think about what could be when everything around you seems to be falling apart. You know what I mean? If you don't like your job and you always think about quitting, it's hard to think about making more money or having $1 million idea. It's hard to do those things. It's hard to do your purpose when you're stuck in survival mode, right? It's hard to concentrate on anything that you're supposed to be doing when you are just trying to get day by day. Okay. So it's just kind of like, we have to do what's best for ourselves. And I am super proud of myself, even though my family didn't want me to do it. They just wanted me to make the payments and stuff. But it's just kind of like, girl, now they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. So it's like, anyway, moving on. Spiritual, we got new insights. Okay. Finding alignment and trusting in ourselves and trusting our energy. We just talked about that. And so I feel like a lot of my spirituality has to do with brick and mortar things. Like some people be in the sky with it, and I'm in the sky too, but I'm in the sky. I need the answer to this question, right? Where is the money? You know what I mean? Like, where's my money? What is my purpose? What are we doing? Because I'm not going to keep waking up every day doing the same thing, driving in traffic. Where is the purpose? Where is the fulfillment? Where is where is all the stuff that you said it was supposed to give, what it was supposed to give? And I'm not feeling that. So that's what I be doing with my spirituality. Something else is like, finding that community of other people. But the thing is, I found the community of other people and, I go to those misas and stuff like that. But I only go I probably go once every 3 months, right? Because, if you go to a misa and they say you need to do something, I go and I do what I need to do. And that might take a little longer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the type of person that be booking readings every day. I don't be watching the readings every day. I just need to watch it once a month and then I'm going to go do what they told me to do. And then I will be back when I'm done. You see what I'm saying? I want tangible results. You know what I mean? I feel like we're still having a human experience, a 3D experience. So we have to, be mindful of that. We can't just be all up in the sky. Bring that back, bring that down to earth. You know what I mean? So I'm really learning to trust myself though, because other people can do a reading, and we'll talk about that a little later, but people can do readings and you can watch and all this other stuff, but it's just kind of the quickest way to get to your fulfillment, your alignment. I feel like people do readings based on their perception and their reality and their understanding. You know what I mean? And so if they can't understand or if you don't know about trading stocks, then you're not going to know how to explain it to me. You know what I mean? All you can see is these numbers going up and down, up and down, up and down, but you don't know exactly what that is if you have never been exposed to it, right? So it's just kind of I have to cultivate that energy within myself of trusting myself and trusting my instincts, because I know it's I go get a reading and then they tell me some stuff and I have to piece it back together. You see what I'm saying? I have to thread it together because they didn't understand it. And so they give me little Scooby-Doo clues. And it's just kind of girl, I could have figured that out on my own. And they say, exactly. So why you here? You know what I mean? And so, but that's disheartening because you go and you look for community and then you get to the community and they tell you you're supposed to do it by yourself, right? They can't even help you. And it's just dang, I'm supposed to be getting help and I can't even get the help. Okay, that hurts my feelings. Moving on. Okay, grows. I have to do better with my health and my wellness. I will say, yeah, we had some deaths in the family on my dad's side. My grandfather on my dad's side, I think he passed away and he had dementia. Dementia is a byproduct of like diabetes and having too much sugar. So yeah, my dad has already been diagnosed with diabetes and, and stuff like that. And, just I don't want to say the diseases that you get when you're not take care of your health, but that's basically what it is. And my fear is like getting to the point where old people be set in their ways and they do what they want to do and they gonna have their biscuits and they gonna have their gravy and they gonna sop it up. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it's like you have to take care of yourself. And I feel like, as much as we talk about drugs being addictive and everything like that, we don't talk about how our food, right? And then also taking care of ourselves as a means of loving ourselves and loving our situation. Sometimes we don't love ourselves and we don't love what we going through. And we you know what I'm saying? So we look for escapism, a way to get out of the situation. And food is that thing. And so knowing that I have a problem like comfort food and stuff like that, it's just very scary to me because you just, like today you had a Debbie cake, but tomorrow, like 20 years from now, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it from that lens, right? And it just really, really makes me sad. Okay. And so it's just like, I did experiment with my diet because we had some issues with the black bean pasta and different things of that nature. And then financial stress. Financial stress is enough to make you go crazy, but we're getting back on it and I'm super proud of myself. Okay. Super, super proud of myself. I don't know if this thing is lagging, but I don't know. It's very weird to me that it's lagging. So I'm sorry if that's happening. Okay. The next thing is finances. We're having to budget. So now that our income is like recalibrated, okay, we have to budget for our wants versus our needs. And you guys, that is so hard on me. Okay. It is so hard because I won't get gas because I can make it, right? I can make it. But I need to get my hair done. I just have to go to Sally's, So never ran on E, but I just want you to know where my priorities are, okay? And I'm working on that. Another thing that I was doing is planning long term, okay? Planning long term and like being realistic with my plans. So at my job, this is another thing. So we've been, working at work, but I am always paired with this old timer. I call him old timer, okay? And he is such an inspiration because he has retired as an engineer, right? And so he has investment accounts, right? And yeah, he just comes to work for just to come to work. Like he just be up here, right? And so they paired him with me so he could have it easy. Cause they know I'm not going for nothing, right? So he needs like, you know what I mean? Cause he been doing this thing for about 30 years, Anyway, he was an engineer. He retired from engineering and then he decided to, go into teaching and things like that. And so we be talking about, I have him look at my numbers. So last week I had him look at my numbers and my plan because I told him I wanted to buy a house and we looked at the numbers. Okay. Cause I was thinking a $250,000 house, based on the income that we have. Right. And I was depressed. You guys, because I'm not going to be able to live in the same area that I want to live in. Right. And then the other thing is like the houses are starting at $300,000, right? 300,000 is low end. Right. Okay. And then he looked at how much interest, he break it down, all the numbers. Right. And he was like, you're not going to want to talk to me after this. And that's okay. But I want you to see these numbers. Okay. And a $250,000 house, by the time that I'm done with a 30-year mortgage, would be about $452,000. Okay. $100,000. Okay. And I almost cried. Okay. I was so sad. I was so sad. And then you know what else he said? Because he don't just show the numbers. He's like, yeah, by the time you finish paying it off, I'll be long gone by then. I was like, why would you say that? Why would you say something like that? You know what I mean? Like, and so I said, okay, all right, based on your professional expertise, do you recommend? He's like, no, I don't think you should be trying to buy a house right now. I think that you should just try to recover, build up your emergency savings, and get cheaper rent. And then I looked at him and said, cheaper rent? He said, yes, cheaper rent. It makes no sense for you to pay $2,000 in rent. You know what I mean? But you should rent, because buying a house right now is just, it's just you. It's just you by yourself and things like that. Maybe, because we just filed the bankruptcy and we did all this stuff. And then also I was trying to there are a lot of first-time homeowner programs that you can get into, but like, we would need to save a little bit more money to even qualify for a house for the down payment. So I just be saying stuff. I just be like, this is a good idea. And he's like, no, it's not. See, that's why I have to have somebody look at my numbers, because apparently I didn't carry the one. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but it was very sad. And then it was very disheartening to see that this American dream that we've been promised, this adulthood that we've been promised, y'all, I'm over it. Okay. I'm sorry. I am over it. Okay. But I did have him look at my numbers, and I asked him about, so what do you think about trading stocks? Right? What do you think about that? And then I wanted to know about trading stocks with high dividends or whatever, so that I can get the money every month or something like that. And he's like, that's very like risky. And he's like, so do you have $200,000 that you're able to invest so that you can get back? Because I want to retire by the time I'm 40. I want to retire by the time I'm 40, 50, 45. I'm 32. And he's just like, how we said a man wasn't a plan for you? It might be. And I was sad. I was so sad, because when he showed me the numbers of like how much he invested versus how much he got back, and the amount of time that the money has been in the account and everything like that, I'm like, it sounds like a Ponzi scheme. How much money is that? So I'm like, so hopefully he don't retire next year. But this year, 2026, we're going to focus on just rebuilding our savings and being a good financial steward. We're just going to have to rebuild our savings. And then after that, we'll figure some things out. Good news is I could stay in my apartment up until November. But after that, I was sad, because I was like, I love my apartment, but I need more space. But at the same time, I don't want to sacrifice my amenities. But here's the thing. If you want the amenities, you have to move out of the city. And that gives me anxiety. Do you understand how I feel? I don't really think that you guys understand, but it just really makes me sad. Okay. And so I wasn't feeling it. And I'm, that's life, so this adulting thing is just, it's annoying. All right, let's move on to opportunities. Now, this is all just okay. So I'm mastering surrender, releasing things that I can't control. Nobody is bigger than the program. Everybody won't be saved. All paths aren't intertwined, and focus on what I can control. So I am a control freak. I don't know if you've noticed that. I have a plan. Okay. A plan for the plan, right? I am looking at where my life is, where I want it to go. I'm looking at the planetary alignments so that I can know where the sun and the moon and all these planets are, because I need to know what that energy is going to do. I like to know what just everything. Okay. Mainly because if I know the energy, I can work with it. But sometimes I be feeling like I'm trying to manipulate the energy, and I just have to let the energy be what it is. Because sometimes the energy is very combustive, and I don't like that. I don't like the combustive energy. For example, the Pluto is in my 10th house in Capricorn, fixed sign. I'm trying to chill. Like, I'm not trying to do all of this extra stuff. I'm not trying to be doing I'm not trying to do all that, but it's requiring that we take a hard look at where we are and where we want to be and make those necessary steps, right? Those calls that we have been, ignoring, we have to answer those calls. And it's very uncomfortable because I don't really like a lot of change. Okay. The other part is like realizing that, I ain't gonna lie, I'm surprised that I haven't gotten into some type of a relationship. I'm surprised. I'm so proud of myself. Y'all don't know. This is probably a year or two where we have just minded our business. Because what I like to do, instead of working on my projects, okay, I decide, I be like, I'm bored. And I want to go on a date. And I just go on a date. And he's whoever it is, a distraction from the now. Is the relationship going to work out? No. But it just gives me something to do. But this is probably the first time in my life where I'm just like, I'm going to focus on the goal. Okay. And, yeah. So yeah. We're just focusing on being productive. Yeah. Okay. Because all that energy that I spent, like being with other people, whether it be friends, relationships, or even family, it was taken from this. And as long as I was interacting and doing whatever they wanted me to do, or whatever I wanted to do over there, whatever, I wasn't doing this. So I was distracting myself on purpose, and that's self-sabotage. So we can't do that, right? And it's like you're afraid of success, or, so you create a situation where you're going to fail because you're focusing on this, right? So yeah. Clock the T, clock my T. Also, nobody is bigger than the program. It's like we have a program. We have to be strict. And I'm not going to say like nobody else is bigger. I'm not bigger than we have to hold ourselves to the same thing that we're holding everybody else to. You know what I mean? So I need to be disciplined. I need to be creating better systems is something that I've been doing. Trusting myself. So it says where our true strength comes from, relying on our own compass. Sometimes I do have to be selfish, and then I have to take it as far as I need to take it to get where I want to go. And then also being and reminding myself that I am in my own lane. You know what I mean? Sometimes I start to feel some type of way because I feel like my life and my success, or whatever the case may be, does not look like how I imagined it. And how I am finding success is not how I thought, or how other people, find success and different things of that nature. And it's like, nobody can give me advice on it because nobody has been in this situation. So I have to cultivate that inner strength, that inner silence, and just that inner wisdom so that I know like, hey, this is the best thing for me. It's hard though. It's hard, and it can be very alienating being by yourself all the time, and so, yeah, I do seek out a little excursion, we need a little excursion, but it's just like, because it's hard. It's hard trying to do everything by yourself, be by yourself, and cultivate the inner strength, all that wisdom, all that stuff by yourself. Like, it's just me and my dog in here. Okay, that's enough to drive anybody insane. Okay, right. So it's just like, I deserve a little bit, but it's just like I'm trying to stay focused. The other part is leaning into my Uranus energy. I looked at my chart. Right? I looked at my chart to clock some of my own tea, and I found out that I am, without anybody else, I am unstable. I am unstable. I am. Based on the information that I saw, I was like, seem like I'm the one that just can't be still and just ain't trying to settle down. And I'm the one that's non-committal. I don't want to commit. I don't think that that's, like I was, because even with buying a house, it's like, do I really want to live there forever? Am I going to be living there? Like, how long you got to live in that house? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm the unstable one. And so the other part was be weird, innovate, don't fight instincts and urges, make your laziness work for you. That is the energy. Because I don't like to edit videos. Okay. I just want to make my thumbnail and I just want to talk in front of the camera. It works. The streaming thing works. Okay. The only thing I got to figure out is how to keep my hair done. That's all I got to do. All I got to do is figure out how to keep my hair done and balance my natural hair versus, you know what I'm saying? I just got to stay on. All I got to do. All I got to do. And if I sit in silence, I get these ideas, right? I get these ideas. And the other thing is like, when I get these ideas, I'd be like, oh my God, such a great idea. But, how am I going to do it? Okay, I figure out how to do it. And then it's just like, oh, I don't think people will like it. You know what I mean? So I feel like next year, 2026 is going to be my year of yes. It's going to be my year of just doing some stuff, right? I like to stream. I like to be on the go and talk to y'all right away. We're just going to, when we get those urges, we're just going to have to cop on. I know I said schedule, but girl, clearly we can't do no schedule. Okay, we just can't. We just gotta show up when we show up and just hopefully you like it. I don't know. But clearly I looked at my chart and even though I'm a Libra sun, Taurus rising and Scorpio moon, I have some placements like Uranus is squaring my sun, moon, all that stuff, all the same thing. Girl, your girl is unstable. Clearly. But the thing is, it's like I get these ideas, I get these bursts of energy, and then I have them and then I don't. And it's hard, like when it's on, and when it's off, it's off. And so it's just like, it's hard to turn that switch back on when it's off, but when it's on, we gotta go. This is what I feel right now. You know what I mean? So I'm working on that. And I'm working on accepting myself, how I am, how I present myself. I feel like I struggle with that because, I used to get, I'm not going to say bullied, but people used to talk about how I talk and how I presented myself. Like when I first started my channel, I was a little uncouth. I was, but at the same time, I needed that time and freedom to find myself and find my voice. And I just knew I had something to say, but it's just like learning like in different environments, how to communicate and different things of that nature. But it's just kind of like now as an adult, I'm learning to, utilize all of those things that I've had. And it's good that I've had that experience because I can put all those experiences, because it's all cumulative, right? It's all together into one little spot in a package. And so we can come to you with life experience, not just a feeling, right? Anyway, the next thing is balancing the social and the silent time. I feel like I need to start getting out and about, but because we have money. See, I'm already looking at how I'm going to spend my money, girl, already because I'm about to have some. So it's just kind of like, we need to get back out, right? We can go back out. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like this year for me is going to be a year of yes and implementing all of my crazy ideas for YouTube. That is what I'm going to be doing. Building everything up. I feel like we have seen a lot of growth. As I'm trying to figure things out, I feel like we've still seen that growth. And I am so appreciative, I'm sorry, I keep talking, of you guys. Like y'all just do not, I wish I could give you a hug, but it's just kind of like, that's why I feel like we're not going to find something else to get into. Okay. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to keep pushing forward and we're just going to, all of our ideas, we're we're just gonna, because you never know what idea could be the one that hits. I feel like about 75% of my ideas hit, you know, and even if they like, it doesn't matter about the number of likes or views or whatever, if it just impacts one person. If one person watched the video and be like, girl, I needed that, that makes me feel so good. Because from one moment to the next, like, you do not know what people be going through. You know what I mean? You do not know what people are going through. You don't know what be on people's mind and everything like that. So it's just kind of like we really have to be there for each other and be better people. Okay, so let's look at barriers. Okay. It says trust. I'm learning to ask for help when I need it. Okay. But my issue with that is, how can you ask for help if your options are limited? Did I spell that right? I don't think I spelled it right. Right? If I have to rely on just me, who else am I ask? And that's a real question, because who else are we going to ask? All right. So it's kind of like, I can't fail. You know what I mean? Like that fear of success versus failure. There are some things that I just can't fail at. Like, I can't fail and not pay the rent. I can go stay on my mom's couch, but it's just like, there's something in me that's just not going to let that happen. I'm just not going to let that happen. You're not going to come and get my car. I paid it. It's paid. All that stuff is paid for. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something in me that's just like, I'm not gonna, like, no. And I kind of feel that way with YouTube too, but it's just kind of like, it's scary because, you know, when you grow up and people keep telling you like, oh, social media this, social media that, and then it's different. And it's like, I'm trying to unlearn all of those things and all the things that I got popped in the mouth for. And, you know, people want to, you know, people don't like me because I got something to say, da, 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 da. That is what makes me who I am, right? So it's just kind of like learning to turn that light on and just shine regardless of how people, you know, like, it just do something. It just do something. The other part is being social opens you up to others' energy, and sometimes I'd rather not. That's the other part about social media. Like, when I am on YouTube and I'm being vulnerable, like I'm being vulnerable right now, I'm opening myself up to other people's energy, and you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of like, when you talk about your life online and what you're going through online, then people can have a comment about it. People can say whatever they want to say about it, you know? And so it's like, you have to be mindful of what it is that you put out there. You know, if you don't want the thing out there, if you don't want people to say something, just don't put it out there, right? But it's just kind of like, part of me feels like it helps people. It helps people. Like, the little trashy stuff, no. But like, people need to see that other people are living life. When I was talking about the houses and the housing market and stuff, people need to know, like, hey, this is not just you. I'm going through it too. Okay? Yeah. We filed bankruptcy today. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need to talk about that. Like, that's just what it is, you know, because there's such a stigma. Like, nobody is going through anything, especially with social media. You get the highlight reels of everybody's life, and it's just like, no, they tripping out here for real. Like, they are tripping. Like, I don't know what's going on, but they are tripping every day. They are tripping. So it's like, we need to have those conversations. We need to have that. We need to check in. That's building community, right? But when you build community, you know, especially on social media, sometimes it's a little harder to, you know, determine and control who all is going to be in the community, right? So it's just kind of like, you have to have that thick skin. I'm working on it. But I do be blocking people. You know, ain't nobody said nothing to me or whatever, but that's something that I'm looking at because, okay, y'all remember when I told y'all I wanted to go live on vertical and horizontal? I want to do regular lives and I want to do shorts lives. Okay, I was sitting up here trying to figure out how to do it, right, with this little system, okay? And then YouTube go ahead and drop the thing. So I'm sitting up here trying to learn how to do it on the back end. YouTube dropped that as a new thing, right? Like, that's a new thing that you can do. You can go live vertical and horizontal. And I'm like, dang, your girl is like ahead of her time. Ahead of her time, because I'm sitting here trying to learn how to do it. YouTube like, oh, we finna drop that right now. You can do it now. So eventually I am going to be going live vertically and horizontally, but I wanted to get these videos out first. But you know, things that require me to put stuff on my screen, because when you do your vertical versus all that other stuff, it's going to change it. Okay. The other thing, it says I'm stuck in my ways, but I'm focused on growth and expansion. Yeah. I'm stuck in my ways because I feel like I spend a lot of time by myself, but we're working on, we're working on it. We're working on it. Okay. Another thing that I want to do is I wanted to share this with y'all, because oftentimes we set goals, and I feel like I don't think I would have been as successful with my goals had I not talked about it out loud with y'all. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that y'all sit and listen to me rant and ramble. But I hope that it inspires you to do your own audit. Like, this is an audit for me. We're doing an end of the year audit. Okay. Something, when I talk to my old timing, okay, we talk about math, and he explained to me all of the problems that I have are a mathematical. Hey, Calvin. He told me all of my problems were mathematical problems. Okay. And because I'm an artsy person, we have our arts and our feelings, but it's a math problem. You need to make more money than you're spending. You need to minimize these numbers, because these numbers, you see what I'm saying? And so with that, I had to take the feelings out of my situation. I had to make tough choices, right? And then something that he kept telling me to do, and I was having a very, very hard, I was having a hard time doing, was he wanted me to set a goal. He's like, what is your goal? What are you trying to do? I'm like, I'm trying to have better finances. He's like, okay, well, what is that? I'm like, better finances. Like, what are you asking? Like, what are you better finances? Like, okay, so what does that mean? Are you trying to, what do you, you know what I mean? And so he started listing all these things. And then he was like, are you trying to, okay, you want to buy a house? How long are you going to live in this house? Did you know that this is how much you're going to end up paying over time after your 30-year mortgage? This is how much you're going to pay. I'm like, I'm not paying $500,000 now. That's not, the house ain't for $250,000. And the way they putting these houses up, they probably not even worth that for real. And they don't have no front yard and the backyard. Like, he's like, well, it sounds like that's not really what you want. Is that what you're doing? Just, so it's just like getting to the root of why we want to do the things that we want to do. And the other thing is, I felt stagnant because I wasn't setting goals. Okay. I wasn't setting actionable, this is what I want to do goal. I was just vibing, and vibes are great, but vibes aren't definite. So the question is, as we go into 2026, because I told y'all this year was a year 9. So we're ending things. We're closing out. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. But the next year is a year 1. So it's about setting goals. Like, what do you want to do? It needs to be actionable. And something else is it needs to be you coded, something that you can do, something that you can control. No, we can't control everything else that's going on in our lives, but there are some things, some actions that we can take to make sure that our lives are better than they are now. You know what I mean? I took those actionable steps. Went to the doctor, got a prescription. That's the number 1. Number 2, working on our communication skills, right? When people get on our nerves, we're not shutting down. We're having a conversation, and we're making sure that we're listening and understanding where they're coming from, but making sure that they understand where we're coming from. So everybody feels heard. Okay. Everybody feels respected, and then also finding our purpose. What do we like to do? We like to talk. We like to give advice. We like to do all these different things. How can we make that work for us? Okay. Can't edit no videos, but we can record the video. I have no problem recording, but we got a problem with the editing and all of that stuff. So now we're streaming. So it's finding ways to play up to our strengths. So what are our strengths and how do we play to it? Okay. So I hope that inspires you. I know I was talking, but I wanted to do this. Eventually I am going to be doing the live streams going vertical and horizontal. I've been experimenting to see like what that looks like. And I think it creates 2 videos. So, but I think the chats, y'all, this hair is bothering me. It's bothering me. It's because I'm not used to nothing being right there. But anyway, yeah, but it's going to create 2 different things. And so I'm a little nervous because sometimes people be acting up on the chat. And so I'm a little worried about that. But I'm trying to get everything done that I need to get done as it relates to things that is going to be on the screen. And then after that, we should be good. What's today? Today is Monday. Yeah, today is Monday. This is my last week at work. And then after that, next Monday, we're going on a road trip. Okay. So I'm also trying to clean my house, you guys. I'm trying to do it little by little because you know I'm not a cleaner. All right. I've been trying to only eat things that I can put in the microwave. And I'm really just not trying to do dishes because I did the dishes yesterday. And so pray for me. Pray for me. But we will be doing some lives this week, and then we'll be doing some lives probably on our phone. I don't know if I'm gonna bring my computer, but it'll be like vlog, like, okay, here's my other idea. Okay, before I go. In real life vlogs. So we're streaming, but it's in real life. Yeah. Thank you, Calvin. Okay. It's here. Like live speaker interaction. Yes. Yes. I want to do that. So my idea is like, yeah, we're going to keep doing our lives where we're doing like, self-improvement and, preaching. I'm preaching to the, but then like just a live where we can just talk and stuff like that. It's going to be in real life. We're going to be doing that next week. Cause I don't think I'm going to bring my camera. I don't think I want to travel with my camera and my computer next week. I think I'm just going to travel with my phone and my iPad. So I want to make sure that I still can get the content out. So, yeah. Okay. All right. I will see y'all maybe tomorrow. Okay. I'm tired. But, yeah. Yeah. I hope this video helped you. Hope you get you a journal. Hope you get some paperwork together and really start putting out those goals and everything like that. Okay? All right. See you in the next video.